Well, looks like all those Buffalo Bills needed to get right was to play the Seattle Seahawks. Game wrapped up maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. I was watching the end of the rest of the early games, and that needs to be a wake up call for a lot of aspects of this team because the scoreboard will tell you that was a 10-point game, but the reality is that was far more embarrassing. And I could be all mad or whatever in this post game video, but I'm honestly too embarrassed to get mad or anything. That was embarrassing, and it's not just losing because let's get this out of the way. Buffalo's a good team. They're well coached. They have a lot of talent. They played well today, even by their standards. They played well today, and this is the kind of game that is low impact on the Seahawks' fate this year because it's out of the conference. So, getting all that out of the way, more than just a loss, this is really starting to get embarrassing. And I was looking forward to making this whole post-game video about the defense today because the defense today was obviously a fireable offense for at least one person and probably a few others, but I can't even do that. I can't even do that because I cannot talk about this game without going into the way this offense played today, which, again, you will be deceptively informed that we scored 34 points and had well over 400 yards of offense, and you're going to say, okay, I guess they did their job. But if you watch that game, where do we start? Pass protection broke down over and over and over again. Not so much the offensive line as much as it was blitz pickups. And this is one area where I will cut this offense a little bit of slack. We don't have running backs right now. We have DJ Dallas, who is a very raw running back, and we have Travis Homer, who, I mean, if you can't pick up blitzes, then I don't even know what you're doing on this team. But he blew some assignments today. DJ blew all the assignments today. Alex Collins got out there a little bit. Not good. That's the one area where I will give this offense a little bit of a break because we don't have our running backs right now. So, of course, the guys you put out there are going to be unprepared. And you're also going to tip your hand a little too much about what the game plan is when you don't have your running backs. And Buffalo took advantage. My God, they took advantage. But the rest of it, Look, I know you're behind the 8 ball, but Wilson today, 4 turnovers. Held onto the ball too long in a couple cases. I will say this, a lot of those cases, like, what are you going to do? He just got pressured. He was getting belted constantly by defenders. He was, just a mess. And I don't want to put it all on him, but when you have 4 turnovers in a game, when you throw an interception in the end zone, when you throw an interception on what was admittedly third and very long, when you're trying to claw back into the game, when you're just not very accurate, he missed many passes in this game, then yeah, you're part of it. And Wilson today, the numbers at the end of the game looked very impressive outside of the turnovers, but those turnovers told you the whole story today. And that to me is really disappointing. I expect better from him. The only guys on this offense that I feel like singling out for a strong performance today would be DK Metcalf, who I thought did everything he could to keep his team in this game, and Jacob Hollister, who I'm now actually kind of grateful we didn't trade when I said we should have traded him, because he's become a bigger part of this offense than I ever expected, and he's actually doing some positive things out there. I'm still not his biggest fan or anything, but Hollister showed up today, and I do want to tip my cap to him because Greg Olsen is not cutting it, and Disley can't be on the field often enough for us, so we need somebody. And Hollister, unfortunately, even though we spent all that money and time on the tight end position this offseason, looks like he's going to have to be the guy again. But today, I can't really complain about anything he was doing. But other than that, DJ Dallas, he had a couple nice plays out there, but there are other plays where it doesn't look like he knows what he's supposed to be doing out there. I know he's new and he's raw, but I guess at a certain point, what are you going to do, right? At a certain point, what are you going to do when you're down to your 4th, 5th, and 6th running backs? But at the same time, Some of the turnovers are not okay today. Some of that's just on Wilson. Some of the missed throws on Wilson. Lockett had a chance to make an amazing catch. It would have been an amazing catch if he made it. He didn't make it. He tried to one-hand it, couldn't bring it in. We're kicking a field goal, and from that point, the game kind of got away from us. But the thing is, there's not anything I can do about this offense other than to say we need to get some of these guys back. We need to get our running backs back so we actually have at least some semblance of a rushing attack. So we can make teams think that we might run the ball. So we have guys who can actually pick up a blitz. Okay? I'm not letting Wilson off the hook. I'm not letting Lockett off the hook for the drop, even though it would have been an amazing catch. I'm not letting the running backs off the hook, but at the same time, I get it. Okay? The offense was behind the 8 ball today. And in the circumstances that they were in, I'm not going to say they played good, but I get it. But this needs to be, the conversation today needs to be about this defense. Because the offense will take care of itself. The offense will take care of itself, and we all know this because we know how good these players are. We know how good this offense is. Even today, we saw some of the good stuff, even with all the bad stuff. This defense, I don't know what to even say at this point other than Ken Norton needs to go. People who are watching this video, if you want Ken Norton gone, put something down in the comments like fire Norton, okay? You're going to see, if you check in on this comment section in a couple days, you will probably see nothing but fire Norton comments down below. And nobody in this fan base who is worth taking seriously for even a second wants this guy as our defensive coordinator, so why is he still there? What do you expect at this point? The defense was bad last year. The defense is worse this year. We keep getting new players in there. We keep getting new playmakers. We keep spending draft picks, draft capital, and yet we may end up having the worst defense in NFL history by yards. And now the points are starting to catch up. I told you guys weeks ago, the defense is holding it together on the back of turnovers and clutch red zone play. That's not going to last forever. Today it ran out. Josh Allen had the game of his life today. My God. We sacked him more times than he threw incomplete passes. And by the way, how is it that we have the worst defensive game in Carroll's history? Literally 44 points, more points than Carroll has ever allowed as a Seahawk coach. And we get 7 sacks. How does that happen? I don't really know how it happened watching that game. If we didn't get a sack, Buffalo was popping off a big play. And I'll say this, Dunbar should not be out there. He is clearly not healthy. He is not right. He does not belong on a football field right now. He needs to go sit down until he can actually play at an NFL level, because right now he cannot hack it at all. It was embarrassing how big of a cushion he was giving up today. That was a Kerry Williams tier performance from Dunbar, and I've been talking him up, and I'll give you this, he's not healthy, and he probably had to drag himself out there because we've already got too many injuries at cornerback, but garbage game from Dunbar no matter how you slice it. Everybody on defense looked slow. LJ Collier with a stupid penalty early in the game to give them a 1st and goal instead of a 3rd and goal. He grabs the back of the collar with 2 hands, like that's what you're supposed to do. I'll see what kind of game Wagner had when I look at the tape, but my instinct is that even though his stat line is not terrible or anything, I can't say he had a good game based off what I saw. KJ looked slow. He looked slow. The whole defense they didn't get prepared. It just felt like they weren't ready for this one. And we see this performance within like 3 hours of learning that Carroll signed a 4-year extension with the team. Apparently he signed it a month ago, but now they just made it official this morning. Is anybody happy with that right now? Is anybody happy the within hours of finding out about that extension, we learn that I can't even say it straight because it's just so beautifully ironic. Carroll officially gets his 4-year extension, and later that day, he puts the worst performance in his decade plus here on defense on the field. No turnovers, 44 points, 450 yards probably, 450-ish yards, just and somehow we discover our pass rush today. We do actually have success on the pass rush, but the problem is when we don't get home on the pass rush, we can't get anything good to go our way. Jerron Reed woke up and he got hurt at the end of this game, so we just have to cross our fingers with him. Dunlap played great. I thought Dunlap had a sack and he had 2 other tackles for loss. Dunlap was awesome. Jamal Adams was awesome. I will say this, Jamal got beat up in coverage, and we do need to talk about that because that penalty he had on the illegal contact down the field on Beasley, that flipped the game because we were fighting to get back in the game. We were about to get the ball back down 7, and then Jamal committed the penalty, and that's not okay. But he also had a very positive impact on many plays in this game. He had a sack and a half. He had 3 hits on the QB. So somehow, some way, the defense got worse, even though we made plays in the pass rush. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. When we blitz and we don't get pressure, we may as well just give Buffalo 25 yards because they're going to get it. When we don't blitz, we can't get pressures, so you may as well just give them a 10 to 15 yard gain. You can't get rid of all these players, even though some of the players are playing bad. Like Dunbar today was the worst I've ever seen any Seahawks cornerback play. That was some Kerry Williams garbage from Quentin Dunbar. But you can't fire all these players. You can't cut or bench all these players. And as I say that about the cornerbacks, sorry guys. Well, I guess I am getting a little angry after all, even though I said I was too embarrassed to get angry. But, you know, I said that about Dunbar. We say all this stuff about Trey Flowers. DJ Reed didn't play good today. Obviously, Shaq has gotten blown off the field a few times this season, but are these players just that bad, or is the coaching staff just doing a terrible job of putting them in a good position to succeed? I don't know anymore. All right. It's getting to be ridiculous at this point that we don't get a change at the defensive coordinator spot. I gave Ken Norton some praise for what he did against the Niners, but it's starting to look like that was an aberration. I know Buffalo has a good offense, but this is a team that could not score a touchdown on the Jets. This is a team that squeaked out 24 points against New England and their basic practice squatters. Like, this is ridiculous. This Buffalo offense has not played well for a month, and they got everything they wanted against us today. Take what you can from the pass rush today, which was actually effective and impressive. Take what you can today from some of the good plays on offense, but make a change at the defensive coordinator spot. I don't know if it's going to fix anything, but it can't get worse than this, guys. All right, that's enough. I'm going to post this video, and then I'm going to go live for the second half of the late games. But look, this is a game I was prepared to take a potential loss in, and it's a game that we can afford to lose because it's outside the conference, but we have to look beyond that because this is embarrassing for this defense. And like I told you guys weeks ago, when the turnovers stop, we're going to have a problem. All right. Peace out, Go Hawks. Tough day, but we're going to talk it through on stream, and we're going to try to figure this out. All right. See you later.